When Ernest Hemingway moved to Toronto, and this is the house where he lived, it was a different city, of course, in those days. A much more conservative, a much more white Anglo-Saxon city than we're used to today. A city of churches and a city of banks. Toronto the good. It wasn't a city that Ernest Hemingway particularly liked, and it seems Toronto didn't particularly like him either. He ended up here. This was the house built by the Conable family. Mrs. Conable had heard Hemingway, the returned war hero, talking and invited him to come up here as a kind of tutor, as a kind of a male governess to her son, whom she considered lame and unmanly. Hemingway was the ideal, the virile ideal of what she wanted her son to be. Not surprisingly, Hemingway wasn't crazy about the assignment and soon left to get away from this leafy enclave into the larger city. When Hemingway stayed here in the early 1920s, it was the Selby Hotel. Today it's called the Clarion Hotel. Hemingway moved here with his wife from Paris. They returned here to give birth to their first son, but even then it was kind of an older building. So it wasn't surprising, I suppose, that Hemingway would move up to St. Clair and Bathurst, where the building was new and he could find a new apartment building. Apartment buildings like this one on Bathurst Street, north of St. Clair, started to pop up across Toronto. Hemingway lived here in 1923 and 1924. He had friends like Morley Callahan, Gordon Sinclair, people like that, and he worked downtown at the Toronto Star. And it was from this building that he left to go to Paris, where, of course, he would become the world-famous writer, never to return to Toronto. For thestar.com, I'm Christopher Hume.